Calaroga Shark Media.
Hello, I'm Johnny Mac with your daily comedy news, a daily briefing on stand-up comedy comedians and the comedy industry, a sentence the algorithms love. Colin Jost has postponed tonight's show. He was supposed to be at the Del Lago Resort and Casino in Waterloo, New York. The show rescheduled for Friday, March 27th. Why would Colin Jost do such a thing? The Del Lago said due to scheduling conflicts, but the conspiracy theory from Syracuse.com is it because Colin Jost needs to recover from bobsledding. Did you see this the other day? Colin Jost appeared during NBC's Winter Olympics coverage. No, they didn't send him to Italy. They sent him to Lake Placid, New York. Jost was in the back of a bobsled with a driver, I assume a professional driver. Video showed Colin Jost screaming and cursing throughout what he called the scariest experience of his life. He told Mike Tirico, "I was not prepared for the level of terror of this bobsled. I swear to God, I thought I was going to die. I thought my back was going to snap in half. I thought my bones were going to fly off my body and be littered all up and down the bobsled track." Hopefully, Colin Jost is okay, and hopefully those pesky scheduling conflicts work out. Tom Segura told Forbes, because I do a lot of storytelling, sometimes you'll see people go, oh, this is like a 100% made-up story, and it's literally the opposite for me. Every story that I tell in stand-up is 100% a real story. Sometimes you embellish a thing here or there. Well, yeah, so that's not 100% a real story. It's, a story based on the truth, and then you embellished it. Come on, Tom. There's some kind of exaggeration, but nothing is made up. So for me, the thing is, I always feel comfortable doing topics where people go, oh, of course a comedian is talking about this. As long as it's from real life, it's your real story. So that's why I found that my kid stuff, even though I don't think of myself as a comedian that does kid material, has always resonated with fans. They're always like, I want to hear more about those two kids of yours. I think because the stories are just unique and they're specific to those kids. Tom said, at one point, I was doing a podcast called Tom Talks, which was just one-on-one interviews. There's probably, 10 or 12 episodes of it. That was my one-on-one long-form interview podcast. The only reason I stopped doing it is because I didn't have the bandwidth to keep it up. There was too much going on. You learn after doing this for so long that you have to start cutting things out. Like even now, I'm in LA, we're shooting the show. We're in post-production on the show. I can't keep up with the other podcast obligations because something's got to go. My favorite one to do is Tom Talks because there's just guests I want to have these long-term, long-form conversations with. I had Deion Sanders on. I had one of the DEA agents that hunted down Pablo Escobar. I had all these guests I was genuinely interested in talking to, and that was an incredible thing for me was to do that. And if I had a room to do something else, I'd do that podcast. As for Bad Thoughts Season 2, it's all new stuff. I'm in the offices right now. I just left an edit bay editing one sketch. I think it's a definite leveling up of what the show is, which is great because Season 1 was awesome. There are super outrageous stories in this season, but they're different. They're totally different than Season 1, so there's no repetitions of it. There's no, oh, we saw that. It's all new, but it's still in the ethos of the show to push things. It's extreme versions of things, and I think the stories are better. It's insane, but it's a different version of insane than Season 1. Looking forward to that a lot. Are you in Miami? Go see Pete Holmes tonight. I'll give you the information in a couple of minutes. Pete Holmes is fantastic live. And I was thinking, the one time I spent time with Pete Holmes was in Miami. I don't remember what we were doing. I feel like I was there for Comedy Central Radio. Comedy Central, did you guys have a comedy festival in Miami? Is that why I was there? I feel like Hannibal Buress was there. I definitely spent time with Pete, like a lot of time with Pete. Good guy. I digress. Pete's tour is called Pete Here Now. The tour was originally branded PG-13. That was a move to reach a broader audience by pushing a semi-clean set. Pete realized that label was boxing him in. He said, why am I asking people to grade the set? Just fly the plane. My intention is always to delight, never to shock or upset. Holiness comes from wholeness. Pete's got a podcast, You Made It Weird. It's a pretty good podcast if you've never checked that out. And he says he isn't aspiring to be anyone's guru. The way he sees it, he's just passing along what's helped him in the hopes that it might be useful to others on their own journeys. Pete says the best way to learn something is to teach it. I'm not a leader. I'm an enthusiast. Interesting here, the Miami New Times writes, on one hand, Pete will defend comics' rights to work it out on stage and push into uncomfortable territory. On the other hand, Pete is quick to point out that the microphone makes you the leader of the room, which comes with a degree of responsibility. Pete says he used to hear road comics close with something like, don't drink and drive, but hey, they can't catch all of us. Pete says that's dangerous. You're talking to drunk people deciding whether or not to drive home. You've just given them permission. I wouldn't make that joke. For his own comedy, he'd rather tell a story about losing his temper or falling short as a dad than about doing the right thing. Pete told the Miami New Times, nobody wants to hear me brag about helping somebody. It's way funnier and more helpful to hear me mess up, because when you laugh at me, you're loosening some guilt in yourself, too. When you're laughing, you're not stressed, you're not worried, you're not even you. You're gone. That's one of the greatest experiences you can have. Pete Holmes tonight, Miami Improv. Tickets start at $37. MiamiImprov.com. If you're local, you should go. He's fantastic. Oh no, I have a political story in the script today. This one can wait. I'm not going to do it. But that means I have to pull something up here because I wasn't ready to go to break yet. I mean, I could just say, we'll be right back. But all right, let me pull something up that was in Monday's script. Alonzo Bodden, also a cool guy. Previous guest on this program. He's teaming up with jazz legend Christian McBride on a new special, Comedy and All That Jazz Volume 4. They'll tape it in Montreal on March 5th. Comedy and All That Jazz Volume 4 blends stand-up from Alonzo Bodden with live jazz from Christian McBride. That's fun. As for filming in Montreal, Bodden told Deadline, I'll always love Montreal. It's where it all started for me. My career really started when I was discovered at the New Faces of Comedy at the Just for Laughs Festival. After that show, I gave up the day job, but it's been nothing but comedy since. Just for Laughs Vancouver Comedy Festival continues. Correspondent Mike Chisholm from the Letterman podcast is on scene. I sent Mike to go see Catherine Blandford. Here's Mike.
All right, here's report number 2. Just came out of the Just for Laughs Comedy Festival in Vancouver, BC. Having seen Catherine Blandford, and my gosh, you want to talk about a fun show. She's crazy in all the right ways. A hot mess that suddenly pulls out amazing vocabulary and isn't a hot mess, revealing that. Like, it's just such a good job. Blurring the line, I talked to her a little bit afterwards as well. Very good at blurring the line to see, like there were 32 people in the room, okay? And I mean, it was a highlight of the night that there were only 32 people in the room because she kept going back to it and talking about it and integrating it with material that clearly, isn't spur of the moment. When I talked to her afterwards, I was like, how much of that was you screwing around on stage versus how much of it was material? And she blurred the line. And that's, to me, the mark of an amazing stand-up. And the other part that I loved was just how polished her character is. When I see, like, for example, the openers I saw tonight, you could tell they're openers. And it was a rhythm that was it wasn't unique because they're openers, right? Watching Catherine, her uniqueness cannot be understated. And she's fun and goofy and a little naughty. And she has that born in Kentucky, raised in Georgia, now living in California, alchemy that just really connects well. It was a really good show. Enjoyed her a lot.
I like Catherine a lot. I caught her at Montreal New Faces. Definitely keep an eye on her. Learn her name. Now, if you're in Vancouver tonight, Laura Ramoso is at the Queen Elizabeth Theatre. Now, that's the same room Letterman played. Am I unfamiliar with Laura Ramoso? Is she secretly huge? Show details. Sketch comedy sensation Laura Ramoso. I'm not shading her. I'm just like, wait, Letterman played this room. So this must be a big room. Laura Ramoso's back with a brand new hour featuring all your favorites, German Mom, Chiara, Italian Dad, and more. Laura Ramoso is a German-Italian comedian best known for her live sketch specials and viral impressions on social media. She has over 3.5 million social media followers. Again, not familiar, but okay, that's a big room. If I were in town, I would be curious and go see that. Other shows at 7, Zoltan Kazas, a lot of buzz on him. Cristela Alonzo at 7. Jesse Jetski Johnson is back at 7. They're doing a nasty show with Dino Archie at 8. And a bunch of smaller shows. If we were there, I would go find out about Laura Ramoso. I'm curious. And then for a later show, what could we do later? Oh, let's just hang out at the Queen Elizabeth Theatre and stay for Renee Vaca, who's playing the show there at 9:30. Now, Johnny Mac had a pre-tape the weekend. Tomorrow we're going to get into some Jay Leno stuff, and then Sunday is a Scrubs preview. So let's take a look at the rest of Just for Laughs Vancouver. Wow, Saturday night right out of the box. 4 o'clock, an evening with Phil Rosenthal of Somebody Feed Phil. 7 o'clock, Otsko at Kotska. So if you've been playing Comedy Survivor and you're like, I don't know who Otsko Kotska is, I've never heard of her, why don't you go to Vancouver and go check her out? She's very funny. Nimish Patel, also at 7. Brent Butt, he's also at 7. I tried to get him on the show. Guess he wasn't available or didn't want to do it. I did want to talk to him. Well, he didn't do the show, so I'm not going to see him. I'm going to go see Otsko. At 9:30 is Jimbo's Clown Town at Just for Laughs Vancouver. What's catching my eye here is the image of someone dressed as Joan Rivers. And yes, my instinct was correct. Jimbo is a performance artist and designer, most known for his drag persona, Jimbo the Drag Clown. And to me, Jimbo resembles Joan Rivers. Vladimir Camaño is back at 9:30. Second Otsko show at 9:30. All right, I'm mad at Brent Butt because he didn't do the show. So Nimesh Patel at 7, Otsko at 9:30 Saturday night's plan. And let's just finish it out with Sunday. Michelle Bateau at the Vogue at 7. Vladimir Camaño again. They really want you to go see this guy at 7. And Puff the Magic Improv show at 10. I think the play there is Michelle and then Puff. And that'll put a wrap on Just for Laughs Vancouver. Just for Laughs Vancouver PR people, thanks for hooking me up with guests and hooking Mike up with the tickets. Appreciate you. It is Friday and time for the comedy stock market. Here with the intro is Burt Reynolds.
Comedy stock market.
You know, I thought about this, and I don't really have anything. There was nothing to feel strong about. You know, I could weigh in on Colbert, I guess. There wasn't anybody to really be mad at this week. So let's just do two buys, and we'll both buy off the experience of Mike Chisholm from the Letterman podcast. He liked both Red Richardson and Catherine Blandford in person, and part of the game here of Comedy Stock Market is we try and scoop up where we see value. So if these are two lesser-known names, let's buy some stock in Catherine Blandford and buy some stock in Red Richardson, and that's a pretty simple comedy stock market on this Friday. A couple specials coming out. Daily Show writer Matt Koff will have a special Catman on Veeps March 10th. The Comedy Cellar regular discusses divorce, middle age, and cats, and shares his thoughts on the world's bias against men with cats. He says, people love cats, but men with cats make people uncomfortable, including me. I'm a man with a cat, and I'm creeped out by myself. The special is a reprieve from Koff from his main subject of joke writing, which is the President of the United States. Some other comics make cameos in the special, including Jon Stewart. Matt Koff said he always dreamed of performing at the Cellar. It took me years to get an audition there, and I was so bitter about not getting in. Sometimes I'd walk past the Cellar and hiss at the club. Now I get to perform there and hiss at the audience when they don't like a joke. Catman, March 10th on Veeps. Blonde Medicine has Troy Walker's debut comedy album. It is called Esquire. Troy Walker tackles racist magicians and porn plot lines, old school drink names and dating rules, and cultural shock in Paris. That's called Esquire, and that's out today. Blonde Medicine also announced a new hour of stand-up from Jackie Kashian called Altercation. I see what you did there. Altercation, YouTube, February 25th. That's Wednesday. That's Trivia Night and Scrubs Night. Can't do all three. Trivia is at 7, Jackie's at 7, Scrubs is at 8. Something's going to have to go. Most of you will just blow off trivia. The press release tells us Jackie Kashian is a favorite among peers like Patton Oswalt, the Star Trek ruiner, Brian Regan, and Maria Bamford, who regularly bring Jackie to open for them when she's not headlining clubs and theaters herself for 45 weeks of the year. Jackie Kashian's new hour, Altercation, I see what you did there, is chock full of great stories and rapid-fire punchlines. Kashian said, as an adult human woman in 2026, it'll come as no surprise to anybody that I am entirely made of bees at this point. Anger, frustration, all of it has been synthesized into this new hour of comedy that bars no holds and pulls no punches. Altercation out February 25th. That's Wednesday. A YouTube premiere event at 8 Eastern. Jackie will be in the chat. Maybe you could jump in the chat and be like, hey, tell Patton to stop with the Doug the Vulcan crap. And that is your comedy news for today. Tomorrow, some Jay Leno stuff that I pre-taped. Sunday, a Scrubs preview. Monday, normal episode. Monday at noon Eastern, Comedy Survivor. And then from there, it's up to the New Jersey District Court in Newark. Do they want me to serve on a jury or not? Don't worry, I'll figure out some sort of podcast. I don't miss a day. We'll get this done. See you tomorrow.